Sports Minutes with Ziaul Raushan.
Money FM 89.3. It's time for Sports Minutes with me, Ziaul Raushan. Now he's doing all he can, yet he continues to be overlooked. Who could I be talking about? Quite honestly, it could happen to more than one footballer, but for the purpose of this conversation, it's Balestier Khalsa's Ignatius Ang. A career best 9 goals and 5 assists, yet a national team call-up still evades him. All the more impressive considering he's also coaching, hustling in real estate, and thinking about life beyond the pitch. Because let's face it, football alone is not enough, especially not so in Singapore. So without further ado, I'm delighted to welcome Ignatius Ang to the Sports Minute studio. Iggy, how are you doing?
Hi Raushan, thank you for having me.
Good to have you with us, Iggy. I've been trying to get you for a while. Now seems like a good time to get you because you're having your best season ever. Before we dive into the football though, I understand you just came back from Bangkok?
Yeah.
Trip with the boys?
Yeah, actually club gave us a week off. So I went to Bangkok with Emric, Masa and Alan.
Nice. And who had the most fun in Bangkok?
I think probably Masa because we were on the tuk-tuk. We were on the way home. His cap flew off.
That's actually happened to me in a motorcycle in Bali before, you know.
Yeah, so I think Masa didn't know, so like the tuk-tuk sped off, then his cap fly off, and I think I have to say it's the original new era cap.
Oh no!
Yeah, so he went to the road and then he was screaming in the tuk-tuk. But life goes on, you know.
I guess that's the last time that cap was seen. Alright, as far as Bangkok stories go, that one is quite tame, so thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Let's move on to something a bit more juicier. And that, of course, is the national team mission. I want to address the elephant in the room right away before we talk about the wonderful season that you're having. And the reason I bring up the national team is because you're having your best season ever. 9 goals scored, 5 assists in all competitions. Yet that national team call-up seems to evade you still. Why do you think this is the case and what's going through your mind, Iggy?
If you ask me, I think this is the closest I've ever been. Ever since I started kicking a ball and playing in the SPL, if the goal is not to play in the national team, then actually, why are you playing, you know? Yeah, so I'm no different from the rest. I also one day want to play in the national team, and I thought probably this season will be my closest, but still, like what you say, it still evades me. But they have their reason. I do not know their reason, and people keep telling me and coming to me that they feel that, hey, actually, you might get called up. Just to share, you know, like my friends, like me, Emric, Wailun, we are all quite close, so we are always chatting. And even this trip to Bangkok was actually booked very last minute because actually they told me like, hey, maybe you get a chance, you know, don't book too fast. So I'm like, okay, let's see how it goes. So the calling came and then bam, I flew off straight away. But I think life still goes on also, you know. If it doesn't come now, then maybe it's not fated. I don't know.
Thanks for your honesty, Iggy. I want to ask, you talk about communication, right?
Yeah.
Is there direct communication from Coach Ogura, who is member of staff, or is it just you finding out on social media like I do?
To be honest, I have no direct communication with anyone. I mean, my friend Wailun, you know, he was been in a national team before, and he was joking with me throughout the whole week. And then myself, I like to take naps in the afternoon. And then I think that on the day when he announced, he was joking, like he was telling me, Iggy, don't take nap, they are going to call you. And then when the news came out, and then I scolded him. I said, yeah, I didn't nap. Where was the call, you know? But after all, it was all laughter. But then again, like I said, I do not know. Yeah.
And final question on this national team issue. You talk about every player who plays professional football in Singapore has a dream to represent Singapore, right? Despite being overlooked so many times, is that motivation for you, or is it turning into a point of frustration?
I'm also at almost the tail end of my career. I thought that if let's say I have to get a call up, it will be the icing on the cake for me, you know. And now that it didn't happen, I'm also thinking, okay, probably that's why I have also plans after football, just to make sure that I'm secured. Let's say if I do not play anymore, or I don't get my contract renewed. I mean, I still try to push on, you know. I just try to give my best each time, yeah.
All right, here's hoping eventually for the fans that you have, as well as from my perspective, that one day that call comes. Iggy, let's move on to brighter things, and that's the football you are playing. At 32 years of age, I think you turned 33 in November, you're clinching career best numbers, right?
That's right.
What's changed?
Looking back, I think when people ask me this question, I did not change anything. I did not do anything special, but probably, I think I remember clearly it was also because now that I'm also a coach, I coach little kids, and they watch my game. And I in fact have parents and players coming to Balestier games each week. So I reserve a set of tickets for them. So I try to play well and also to show them that it can be done. And also probably walk the talk, like, like when you try to coach them something or teach them something, and then I try to show it at them. So, I try to motivate them and inspire them, and who knows, one day they will also go on to play in the SPL.
I love that you brought up your coaching gig as well. We'll talk about your side hustles in a short while, but let's talk about Balestier Khalsa first. Speaking to Straits Times, your coach Peter Diru said you need to improve your concentration a bit. Fair comment, you think?
I will not disagree. I think that's one thing I also lack, and also probably consistency is something that I'm also lacking. Yeah, so sometimes during the game, and probably when you do not get much activity on the ball, your concentration falls a little bit. But I think also Peter expects a lot from me because of my age and also what I can give to the team. So that's why he expects a lot from me, and that's why he's always screaming maybe.
Where does Peter rank in terms of coaches you've played for?
I think definitely one of the top that I've been under, because also sometimes when he does his coaching or the way he speaks, I try to look at it from a different point of view because I'm a coach myself, and definitely there's some things that, in fact, a lot of things that I picked from him, and I even try to do it at my own sessions. And I also eventually, if I were to go on to coach a team in the senior team, I think something I want to try to replicate from him as well, and the way he manages his players, the way he speaks and gives information.
Let's talk about you being a coach, right? How did that all happen? When did you think, that's something I want to pursue?
Actually, it started off when I was in secondary school. I love sports. I play mostly all kinds of sports. And then probably I was thinking, okay, one day I will be a PE teacher. So I was actually going towards that path after my secondary school, and then when I went on to IT. But actually midway, I decided that actually probably teaching is not something that I want to do. More of coaching football. Like looking back, I've been through a lot of coaches, and I've definitely picked up a lot from them, and also from my past playing experience. So I feel that now that I've learned so much and I learned from people, it's my time to give back and also help to nurture and develop players.
And you talked about coaching kids, right? I read somewhere that some of your celebrations, your very catchy dance move celebrations, is the result of these kids asking you to celebrate. Yeah. How did that whole thing happen? Just one random day they say, Coach, try this?
So actually some of my goal celebration is like planned before the day. Like sometimes my teammates will like come up to me and say, hey, Iggy, do this. Then I'm like, hey, it's quite difficult. And then sometimes I just try to find inspiration. Some of the kids, when they see, they say like, Coach, can you do the greedy the next game? And then I say, okay, I'll do it the next game if I score. And thank God I really scored, and then I did it. And so the next time they say, Coach, can you do the C, the Ronaldo one? So I'm planning to do it. Let's see.
Nice. I can't wait to see you that C come to fruition, right? We talk about the kids, they clearly idolize you, see you as a hero almost because of the age, but also because you're their coach, right? Yeah. How much does that motivate you to keep playing and keep pushing?
Okay, so I think I also remember that there was one particular game in the league during the first round where probably I didn't play so well, and I think my match preparation wasn't too good, and I played a very bad game, to be honest. And then up to today, even though I play a bad game, football is a big part of me, and it affects me, to be honest. So after a game, when I do not play a good game, it actually affects me for the next 2 to 3 days. Yeah, and then when that particular game when I did not play well, I was reflecting and I was saying like, hey, like I mentioned, like the parents, the kids, everyone is watching me, and I'm not playing too well, So I'm not just doing this for myself, but I'm actually doing for my players or parents who come to watch me. So I think ever since that game, it changed my mindset, and I think that explains.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. I want to talk about something that you mentioned a bit earlier in terms of coaching these kids, but trying to inspire them to be footballers, right? If one of your younger players asked you, Coach, should I pursue football full-time in Singapore? What would your honest answer be?
Looking back, I think if they ask me this question and I will ask them a next question, I will say that if after tomorrow, if you get injured and you do not have a contract, what are you going to do? And if they say that they do not know, then I say you better start worrying, you better have plans after football. I mean, in Singapore, there's no hiding. Football is only a short-term career. Definitely, you need to have something to fall back on. As much as you love the game and you want to play, I think you need to know what you want to do after that.
And that's exactly why I asked you that, because for the benefit of the listeners, could you just tell them, beyond being a footballer and a football coach, what else are you?
A real estate agent with PropNext. It's also a transition for me, because I think coaching and also property, it's in my way best of both worlds, I think, because like property is quite flexible, and then coaching is only takes up a certain period of time in a day. So if you know how to manage both, I think I'm able to do it. So this year I'm doing more of property as well, and also coaching and also football. Yeah, so just managing all three at one time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to talk to you about, right? You make it sound easy in terms of the time it takes up, but I can imagine how difficult it is balancing all of that. Amidst all of that, you found time to come down and sit down in the studio with me, which I'm grateful for. But tell me, how hard is it to balance all these things and continue to play at such a high level?
For Balestier, we train once a day in the morning, and then typically a coaching happens in the afternoon. Yeah, and then probably usually, like viewings or you meet appointments, because it's usually at night when everyone is done with work. If you look at it, it's like training morning, coaching afternoon, and then real estate or viewing and appointments in the night. That's why it takes up the whole time of my day.
Iggy, you clearly have found a way to manage everything. You're thinking about the future as well. You can't be the only one. How many teammates or football friends involved in Singapore football have these side hustles?
I think I have teammate like Emmerich, who is also a property agent and also a fellow coach. Both of us coach together at Coach Chuan Presbyterian Secondary. And then I think we have maybe Darren, who is a financial consultant. And then I think Madhu does his own coaching as well. So just based on my team, there's a few that is already having some side hustle. Yeah.
So evidently, football alone isn't enough in Singapore, right? The pay is not enough. The shelf life is not enough. Why pursue it at all then?
I mean, sometimes passion takes up everything, but passion doesn't pay the bill, Yeah. So that's why I'd say, even though in all honesty, in Singapore context, we don't get paid as much as compared to the neighboring countries, but I think you are still able to sustain in Singapore. That's why I say, if you are having a side hustle or side gig, and then eventually you need to have a backup plan to know what you want to do after your career.
Clearly, you put in a lot of thought and you have foresight in terms of the future, right? I want to ask you, did that come from family advice, family support, or is that who Iggy is in terms of looking ahead?
Football is a main part of my life. It not only teach me just being on the field, but actually off the field. It also teaches us a little different values. For example, like discipline, resilience, and also many other values that help shape us in our daily lives as well. So I know through football, we need to have plans, and we don't live day by day. Once you have a focus and you know what you want, I think things are much better. That's why for me, probably one of the reasons why I'm playing so well this year is also probably I already know that what I'm going to do once I'm done playing. Probably when you're still playing and then you do not know what you want to do, you'll be thinking like, should I give my best in football or should I plan life after football? Probably because football will not take you too far. Yeah, because and also in Singapore, we live contract by contract, year by year, So you are living on the edge basically.
No, I can understand that the uncertainty creeps into your mind and then it affects your game as well, right? In terms of coaching, you're obviously coaching kids now.
Yeah.
Say 10, 15 years down the road, does Iggy harbor ambitions of being an SPL coach?
That's a little bit too far for me at the moment, but definitely my main short-term goal is probably to coach an elite youth team for start, maybe 13 years old, 15 years old, and then who knows where it takes me from there. But SPL, not too sure at the moment.
Not just yet. Maybe that's when you can become national team coach and call yourself up, perhaps. But you never know who's listening. Maybe that opportunity will come along. Iggy, the reason I'm asking you all things about your future is because I read somewhere along in the prep for this interview that you are considering retirement. Has the fact that you're so informed made you reconsider that decision?
I was actually having this chat with Emmerich also, because maybe, sometime you want to end it on a high, and then can't remember which footballer they quoted, like, you retire from the game, you don't let the game retire you. And also when I started playing, I thought myself, okay, probably I'll play up to 33. So happened that I'm already turning 33 this year, and also before the start of the season, I was also telling myself, like, maybe this is your last season, just give your best and leave no regrets, because when I'm done, I want to wake up next day and regretted, like, I should have done this and I should have done that, So the season is ending in like 3 months. I do not know whether I want to retire.
If you do, just drop me a line and Sports Minutes will get the fans speaking in terms of giving you a tribute. But I'm sure the fans listening in who've listened this far hope that there's a bit more fuel in the tank in terms of football for Iggy. If the day comes that you decide to retire, I'm not saying in the near future, whenever it comes, right? What's one thing you will miss most about football?
Definitely the adrenaline and, the minutes before the game and the preparation, the dressing room as well. Because when you come for training, you step on the field, actually, you leave all your worries away. You do not think about anything for the 90 minutes. After that, it's back to life again, So these are probably some moments that I will definitely miss. And of course, the traveling, overseas games and tournaments as well.
What's one thing you won't miss?
Maybe playing a bad game, that's why.
Yeah, especially because you say it stays in you for 2 or 3 days,
Yeah.
right? Iggy, you've been most kind with your time, most honest. I've reached the end of my questions, but not before I test. I know you're a speedy guy, so I'm going to test your reflexes with a round of quick fire. Are you ready?
Okay, let's go.
All right. Best player you've ever played with?
I think definitely Koda is one of them as well, all-rounded player. And then also I think there's maybe Jordan Webb, Diallo in Hougang.
I know why you say Kodai Tanaka, because he's giving you assists all the time, right?
And he's always asking me, do you know why you are scoring most of the time this season? I said, I do not know why. He said, you sure? Then after I said, because you passed me. He said, yeah, that's why.
Toughest opponent you've ever faced?
I remember when I was a young boy, I was playing against Durik. I think we were 50-50. I tried to go in my body and then I banged him instead, and then my body was aching the next few days.
That guy is a man mountain, man. One current non-Balestier SPL player you'd love to have as your teammate. Don't say Celestian.
I think Kyoga is a very good player as well. Yeah, and maybe Kyoga is.
That might happen for the national team. You never know. Dream club to play for anywhere in the world.
Maybe Manchester United. I don't know.
All right. I knew I was enjoying this interview for a reason. Iggy, we know you, the real estate agent, the coach, the footballer, but what's your hidden talent?
I recognize people very well. For some reason, when I look at someone, I actually remember them when I see them again. Yeah, I don't know why, just for some reason. Yeah.
You say 1 year from now, I'll test you.
Yeah.
Biggest misconception people have about you?
They think I'm a Malay. I think probably because of the way I speak and also my skin tone.
If you had to be stuck on an island with one of your teammates, past or present, who are you picking? I feel I know the answer, but tell me.
I think definitely Emmerich.
Knew it. Give me one fun story about how you and Emmerich have been through thick and thin together.
Me and Emmerich, we have been together since Young Lions, Lion 12, and also in Warriors. I think we share a lot every time we're in a room. We joke because when we were in Lion 12, we did not get much playing time, but we still travel with the team. So we were just joking, it's just another buffet trip because if you don't play, you just go there and travel with the team and then you just eat, yeah. So I mean, we laugh about it, but actually we try to push each other at the end of the day.
Final question, I think you've already answered this, but perhaps you can give me a demo. What's your next goal celebration going to be?
It'll be a Japanese dance. Yeah, I think it's on TikTok. Because Masa was sharing me on TikTok, like 3-4 people clap and then the guy in the middle just dance awkwardly. So I was just sharing with Masa that, okay, if any of you Japanese score, and then let's do it.
All right. Very nice. I think you've given the listeners a lot to look forward to. Iggy, you've been most candid with your time and your honesty. I think the listeners appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much for spending time in Sports Minutes.
Thank you, Raushan.
Sports Minutes on Money FM 89.3.